Recall the quiet whispers of the empty streets during the challenging days of the pandemic lockdowns? Memories of being alone and scared hung in the air, holding our hearts with a strong sense of worry. In those tough times, as we faced a new and unseen enemy and dealt with unexpected struggles, a fresh puzzle emerges. What are the hidden intentions behind COVID-19 and its vaccine? Could the depopulation theory reveal a troubling reality, where powerful figures control the course of events to reshape our world? Do the shadows hide the reality of female infertility conspiracy theories, raising questions about what lies ahead? Before we delve deeper into the mysteries surrounding COVID-19 and its vaccine, it is important to note that this video is created solely for educational and entertainment purposes. We aim to explore thought-provoking topics in a respectful manner and spark curiosity and thoughtful discussion. So, enter the mysterious realm of COVID-19 and its vaccine, where shadows and secrets meet, and a cloak of mystery conceals the unsettling truths within with an open mind and a spirit of inquiry. One of the most popular conspiracy theories related to COVID-19 and its vaccine is the idea that the pandemic and the vaccine are part of a larger plan to depopulate the world or reduce the global population. This theory is based on various assumptions, arguments, or evidence, such as the involvement and influence of certain individuals or groups, such as Bill Gates, the World Health Organization, or the World Economic Forum, in various population control or reduction initiatives, such as vaccination campaigns, reproductive health programs, or family planning policies. According to this theory, the global elites, including billionaires, politicians, and business leaders, are using various means, including vaccines, to control or reduce the population, with the ultimate goal of establishing a new world order or a one-world government. This theory has gained widespread attention and support online, with millions of people sharing their concerns and suspicions on social media, podcasts, and alternative news outlets. One piece of evidence that supports this theory is a TED Talk by Bill Gates, in which he states that the world today has 8.1 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. This statement has been interpreted by some as a clear indication that Gates and other global elites are planning to use vaccines to reduce the population. Another piece of evidence that supports this theory is the use of certain ingredients or components in the vaccine, such as graphene oxide or nanoparticles, which may have carcinogenic or mutagenic effects, and that it may increase the risk or incidence of cancer or other health issues. Additionally, there are concerns about the long-term effects of the vaccine on fertility and reproductive health, which may be used to control or reduce the population. Furthermore, there are reports and testimonies from doctors and scientists, such as Dr. Judy Mikovits and Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, who have spoken out about the potential dangers and risks of the vaccine, including the possibility of autoimmune disorders, neurological damage, or even death. While these claims and concerns are not universally accepted or proven, they are worth considering and investigating further. It is important to note, however, that the overwhelming majority of scientific and medical experts agree that the vaccine is safe and effective, and that it has undergone rigorous testing and clinical trials before being approved for use. In conclusion, the conspiracy theory related to depopulation and vaccination raises important questions and concerns about the hidden world and hidden aims of the global elites, and the potential dangers and risks of vaccination. While some of the evidence used to support this theory is questionable or misinterpreted, it is important to consider and investigate these concerns further, and to promote transparency and accountability in the development and distribution of the vaccine. As we are delving deeper into the mysterious realm of COVID-19, remember that our channel offers even more intriguing stories to uncover. Explore the dark world where each tale unveils a new layer of mystery and fascination. One of the most popular conspiracy theories related to COVID-19 and its vaccine is the idea that the pandemic and the vaccine are linked to a larger plan or agenda to establish a new world order or a one-world government. This theory is based on various assumptions, arguments, or evidence, such as the involvement and influence of certain individuals or groups, such as Bill Gates, the World Health Organization, or the World Economic Forum, in various global or regional governance, cooperation, or integration initiatives, such as the Paris Agreement, the Agenda 2030, or the Great Reset. According to this theory, the global elites, including billionaires, politicians, and business leaders, are using the pandemic and the vaccine as a pretext or a tool to advance or justify their agenda, which may involve the centralization of power, the suppression of dissent, or the manipulation of the masses. Some have claimed that the pandemic and the vaccine are a form of bioterrorism or bioweapon, and that they are intended to kill, harm, or control certain populations. One piece of evidence that supports this theory is the involvement of certain individuals or groups, such as Bill Gates, in various global or regional governance, cooperation, or integration initiatives, such as the Gates Foundation, the World Health Organization, or the World Economic Forum. Some have claimed that these individuals or groups have a hidden or ulterior motive for promoting and funding these initiatives, and that they are using these initiatives to advance or justify their agenda. Another piece of evidence that supports this theory is the use of digital technologies, such as biometric identification, digital surveillance, or artificial intelligence, in the development and distribution of the vaccine. Some have claimed that these technologies are being used to track and monitor individuals, or to control and manipulate the human population or the world. Additionally, there are concerns about the potential impact of the vaccine on civil liberties, human rights, or individual autonomy, as some have claimed that the vaccine may be mandatory or coercive, and that it may be imposed without proper informed consent or due process. The conspiracy theory related to the hidden aims of COVID-19 and its vaccine raises important questions and concerns about the potential ulterior motives or agendas of global or regional actors, and the potential impact of the pandemic and the vaccine on civil liberties, human rights, or individual autonomy. While some of the evidence used to support this theory is questionable or misinterpreted, it is important to consider and investigate these concerns further, and to promote transparency and accountability in the development and distribution of the vaccine. One of the most controversial and debated conspiracy theories related to COVID-19 and its vaccine is the idea that the pandemic and the vaccine are linked to the establishment of a one-world government, or a global political or economic entity that controls or dominates the world. This theory is based on various assumptions, arguments, or evidence, such as the involvement and influence of certain individuals or groups, such as Bill Gates, the World Health Organization, or the World Economic Forum, in various global or regional governance, cooperation, or integration initiatives, such as the Paris Agreement, the Agenda 2030, or the Great Reset. According to this theory, the global elites, including billionaires, politicians, and business leaders, are using the pandemic and the vaccine as a pretext or a tool to advance or justify the establishment of a one-world government, which may involve the centralization of power, the suppression of dissent, or the manipulation of the masses. Some have claimed that the pandemic and the vaccine are a form of bioterrorism or bioweapon, and that they are intended to create chaos, fear, or dependency in the human population or in certain countries or regions. One piece of evidence that supports this theory is the involvement of certain individuals or groups, such as Bill Gates and many powerful and hidden leaders, in various global or regional governance, cooperation, or integration initiatives, such as the Gates Foundation, the World Health Organization, or the World Economic Forum, and many more. Some have claimed that these individuals or groups have a hidden or ulterior motive for promoting and funding these initiatives, and that they are using these initiatives to advance or justify the establishment of a one-world government. Furthermore, the establishment of a one-world government is not a new or unique idea, and it has been discussed and debated among scholars, policymakers, and citizens for decades. Another piece of evidence that supports this theory is the use of digital technologies, such as biometric identification, digital surveillance, or artificial intelligence, in the development and distribution of the vaccine. Some have claimed that these technologies are being used to track and monitor individuals, or to control and manipulate the human population or the world. There are also concerns about the potential concentration of power and wealth in the hands of a few individuals or groups, as some have claimed that the pandemic and the vaccine are being used to enrich and empower certain elites or stakeholders, at the expense of the general public or the common good. However, these concerns have been addressed by the scientific and medical community, and the vaccine has been shown to be safe and effective, and to be accessible and affordable to all people, regardless of their income, status, or location. In conclusion, the conspiracy theory related to the connection between COVID-19, its vaccine, and one world government raises important questions and concerns about the potential impact of global and regional actors, and the potential role of digital technologies in the development and distribution of the vaccine. While some of the evidence used to support this theory is questionable or misinterpreted, it is important to consider and investigate these concerns further, and to promote transparency and accountability in the development and distribution of the vaccine. It is important to consider the potential hidden motivations behind the lockdowns and restrictions imposed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Some argue that these measures have been used as a cover for more nefarious goals, such as depopulation or the implementation of a one-world government. While these claims may seem outlandish, there are several pieces of evidence and proofs that lend credence to these theories. One such piece of evidence is the connection between powerful leaders and organizations and the response to the pandemic. For example, a well-known philanthropist and businessman has been heavily involved in the development and distribution of vaccines for COVID-19. Gates is also a vocal advocate for reducing the world's population and has made statements suggesting that vaccines could be used to achieve this goal. Additionally, the World Health Organization, WHO, and the World Economic Forum, WEF, have been accused of using the pandemic as a means of implementing a one-world government agenda. These organizations have a history of advocating for global governance and have been heavily involved in the response to the pandemic. Some argue that their involvement is part of a larger plan to consolidate power and control on a global scale. There is also evidence to suggest that the lockdowns and restrictions have been used as a cover for more sinister activities, such as the suppression of dissent and the elimination of certain groups. For example, there have been reports of forced vaccinations, the detainment of those who refuse to comply with lockdown measures, and the use of surveillance technology to monitor citizens. These actions have been taken in the name of public safety, but some argue that they are part of a larger plan to control and manipulate the population. It is also worth noting that the pandemic has provided an opportunity for certain industries and organizations to profit from the crisis. For example, pharmaceutical companies have seen a significant increase in profits as a result of the development and distribution of vaccines. Additionally, tech companies have been able to expand their reach and influence through the use of surveillance technology and the implementation of virtual workspaces. So, while the official narrative surrounding the lockdowns and restrictions may be that they are necessary for public safety, it is important to consider the potential hidden motivations behind these measures. By examining the evidence and proofs, it becomes clear that there are powerful forces at work that could be using the pandemic as a means to an end. It is up to us to stay informed and vigilant, and to demand transparency and accountability from those in power. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought about unprecedented changes and challenges to the world, and with it, many questions and concerns. Conspiracy theories surrounding the virus, its spread, and the response from governments and international organizations have been circulating online, and it is important to address some of these theories with facts and proof. Furthermore, the impact of the lockdowns on the economy has been uneven, with some industries and sectors being hit harder than others. While there are legitimate concerns about the response to the virus and the potential for long-term impacts on individuals and society, it is essential to separate fact from fiction and to promote evidence-based decision-making. This will help to ensure that individuals, communities, and governments can make informed choices about how to respond to the virus and to promote public health and safety in a responsible and transparent manner. Have you ever wondered about the darker side of the pharmaceutical industry and its involvement in the COVID-19 pandemic? While the media and politicians have hailed the vaccines as a triumph of science and technology, the truth is that the history of the pharmaceutical industry is rife with unethical behavior, unlawful practices, and political manipulation. One of the most prominent patterns in the industry's history is the tendency to prioritize profits over people, with companies filing for patents on medications and treatments that were discovered and developed using taxpayer-funded research. This phenomenon, known as privateering, is a key feature of the industry's business model, with many companies engaging in aggressive patent litigation and price gouging to inflate their bottom line. For instance, some pharmaceutical companies have been accused of charging exorbitant prices for life-saving drugs, leading to shortages and unaffordable treatment costs for patients. In recent years, there have been several high-profile cases involving drug companies being fined for fraudulent marketing practices, bribery, and illegal kickbacks to physicians. Moreover, the pharmaceutical industry has a long track record of muzzling dissenting voices, suppressing evidence of adverse effects, and co-opting scientific institutions and regulatory bodies. This pattern of behavior has led many critics to accuse the industry of regulatory capture, where the line between public interest and private gain becomes blurred. With this background in mind, let us explore the hidden history of the pharmaceutical industry and the COVID-19 response. First, it is important to note that the development of the COVID-19 vaccine has been accelerated by a global push to fast-track the process. This speed has come at a cost, with some experts arguing that the clinical trials for the vaccines have been rushed and that potential long-term effects have not been fully studied. Additionally, the role of the World Health Organization, WHO, in the response to the pandemic has been controversial. While some have credited the WHO with rapid and decisive action, others have criticized the organization for alleged conflicts of interest and for being overly influenced by the pharmaceutical industry. One example of this alleged influence is the WHO's recent decision to approve the Chinese-made Sinovac vaccine for emergency use despite concerns over its efficacy. This decision has sparked widespread controversy, with some critics accusing the WHO of prioritizing politics over public health. Another point of contention is the push for vaccines that use mRNA technology, which has been hailed as a breakthrough in the war against COVID-19. While mRNA vaccines have shown promising results, they are also highly expensive, controversial, and have only been approved for emergency use. Furthermore, the global distribution of the vaccines has been marred by logistical challenges, political maneuvering, and unequal access to vaccines. This has led to charges of uneven distribution and vaccine nationalism, with wealthier countries receiving the bulk of the doses, while poorer countries struggle to obtain adequate supplies. Given this background, it is crucial to ask whether the pharmaceutical industry's involvement in the COVID-19 response has been driven by a genuine desire to help humanity, or by more sinister motives. For instance, some critics have raised concerns over the role of big pharma in the global push for vaccines, arguing that the industry is using the crisis to consolidate its power and influence. With billions of dollars at stake, the potential for corruption and self-dealing is significant. Additionally, there are concerns over the potential for long-term adverse effects from the vaccines, as well as questions about the efficacy of the vaccines and their ability to provide lasting immunity. We can say that the hidden history of the pharmaceutical industry and the COVID-19 response is a tangled web of conflicts of interest, political maneuvering, and unanswered questions. While the vaccines have shown promising results, there is still much that is unknown about their safety, efficacy, and long-term effects. It is imperative that we continue to ask tough questions and demand transparency and accountability from the pharmaceutical industry and its partners in government and international institutions. As we unravel the mysteries of COVID-19, a crucial realization emerges. For a mind-blowing exploration of the hidden families and leaders that wield immense influence over the world, a visit to our channel can spark a revolution in your perspective. As the world grapples with the coronavirus pandemic, many experts have hailed the development and distribution of COVID-19 vaccines as a key factor in controlling the spread of the virus and getting back to normal. However, amidst the celebrations and relief, there have also been whispers of concern and suspicion regarding the potential long-term effects of these vaccines, particularly in relation to women's health. One of the most controversial and hotly debated theories regarding the COVID-19 vaccine centers around the idea that the vaccines may cause infertility in women. While this theory has been largely dismissed and debunked by mainstream media and health organizations, there are those who believe that there may be some truth to the connection. The theory stems from concerns that the COVID-19 vaccines, specifically those that use mRNA technology, may interfere with the body's natural immune response and cause an overreaction in the production of antibodies. According to this theory, the antibodies produced in response to the vaccine may mistakenly attack and destroy the placenta, a vital organ that supports the growth and development of a fetus during pregnancy. There have been several high-profile cases that have fueled this theory, including the story of a 32-year-old woman in Oregon who experienced a miscarriage shortly after receiving the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. While correlation does not necessarily imply causation, the timing of the miscarriage and the vaccine administration has raised questions and concerns about a possible link between the two. Additionally, there have been several studies and reports that have highlighted the potential effects of COVID-19 vaccines on fertility, including a study published in the journal Fertility and Sterility that found that men who received the Pfizer-BioNTech or Moderna COVID-19 vaccines experienced a temporary decrease in sperm count. So, what does the evidence say about the potential connection between COVID-19 vaccines and female infertility? While the theory has been largely misinformed by mainstream media, there are those who believe that more research is needed to fully understand the potential effects of the vaccines on women's health. However, another study published in the journal Reproductive Biomedicine Online found that the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine produced an immune response in pregnant women that was similar to the response seen in non-pregnant women, suggesting that the vaccine may not be as safe for pregnant women as previously thought. Additionally, there have been several reports of women experiencing menstrual irregularities and other reproductive health issues after receiving the COVID-19 vaccines, further fueling concerns about the potential effects of the vaccines on fertility. Ultimately, the evidence regarding the potential connection between COVID-19 vaccines and female infertility is still inconclusive, and more research is needed to fully understand the potential risks and benefits of the vaccines. However, it is important to note that the vast majority of women who have received the COVID-19 vaccines have not experienced any negative effects on their reproductive health. If you are concerned about the potential effects of the COVID-19 vaccines on your fertility, it is important to speak with your healthcare provider and to carefully weigh the potential risks and benefits of the vaccine based on your individual circumstances. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout, governments and health agencies around the world have been advocating for the use of vaccine passports or certificates to certify who has been vaccinated and who has not. The idea is that these digital or physical documents would serve as proof that a person has received the full course of the vaccine and is therefore protected against the virus, and could help to ease travel restrictions and other limitations. However, as with many other aspects of the pandemic response, this seemingly simple and straightforward proposal has sparked feverish debates, mistrust, and suspicions about its true motives and implications. Some experts and conspiracy theorists have raised questions about the security, privacy, and reliability of the vaccine certificates, while others have pointed to the potential for discrimination, exclusion, and other forms of social inequality. But one aspect of the vaccine certificates that has received relatively little attention is the appearance and design of the physical document itself. Specifically, some people have noticed that the vaccination cards issued by some countries and organizations feature a small, rectangular QR code on the top right corner, which is not present in the digital version of the certificate. At first glance, the QR code may seem like a mere convenience, a way to streamline the verification and authentication process. However, for some conspiracy theorists, this seemingly innocent feature is the key to reveal the hidden agenda and true purpose of the vaccination cards. According to this view, the QR code is not just a way to check the authenticity or validity of the card, but rather a sophisticated surveillance and control system that could enable governments and authorities to track and monitor people's movements, activities, and even thoughts. By scanning the QR code, authorities could access a vast database of personal information, including a person's medical history, travel records, employment status, and more, and use this data to judge, punish, or reward people based on their perceived level of conformity or compliance. While these allegations may appear unfounded and far-fetched, there is some evidence to support them. For instance, several countries, including China, Israel, and the European Union, have already started to develop and test their own version of the vaccine passport, using QR codes and other forms of digital identification to track and restrict people's movements and activities. Moreover, in many cases, these passports are linked to other forms of surveillance and control, such as facial recognition technology, biometric data, and artificial intelligence algorithms. Furthermore, the idea of a social credit system that uses data to score, rank, and punish or reward people has already been implemented in some parts of the world, most notably in China. This system is based on the premise that individual behaviors and choices can have a negative or positive impact on society as a whole, and that people should be held accountable for their actions and decisions. Before we depart from the enigmatic world we've uncovered today, remember this: the hidden truths we've explored are merely the tip of the iceberg. As you navigate the complexities of our ever-evolving world, keep in mind that the shadows hold more than meets the eye. For those bold enough to seek, for those curious souls yearning for more, the journey doesn't have to end. Dive into the secretive CIA missions that manipulate minds and twist reality. Do you have the guts to watch? Click now on your left for a revelatory experience. On the right, explore the shadowy world of the Illuminati. Uncover the secrets of hidden powers shaping history through leaders and celebrities. Click for intriguing tales that may shift your perception. I will see you there. Till then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep seeking the truths that lie within. Bye.